Hello, my name's Colin, and today I'll be teaching about transformations. So, before we start learning about transformations, we need to know what it is. Well, a transformation is a function that maps a figure, also known as a preimage, onto a new figure called the image. A transformation changes the figure's shape, size, and position. Today, we'll be talking about its position, so no shapes, no sizes. Now, there's three different ways transformation is able to change the preimage's figure shape or shape position. First way will be reflection. Pretty much just like a mirror, or if you ever looked into a mirror, you would see that yourself right here, and this would be your reflection. Both of them are exactly the same, height, width, length, whatever. The only difference is this one's now flipped around, and that would be reflection. Now, on to translation. For translation, this one only, slides around instead of, reflecting. So so everything's the same again. Just draw this out. Everything's the same. Only difference this time is the square here is somewhere else. It could be up here, and this would make it harder. This could now be either reflection or translation if it's on the same. It could be right here, which where I had originally. It could even be right here. And that is translation. Now, last but not least is time for reflection. I just said reflection. I meant to say rotation. My bad. Anyways, rotation is exactly what it sounds like. You're rotating the object either 90 degrees, 180, or whatever's next. But anyways, you're rotating the square or triangle in this case 90 degrees. So we're going to go here. This would be 360. Then you dupe it there. Dupe again. And this would be the end of your rotation unless you run all the way around. But in this case, you probably won't be able to go all the way around. Okay, so now that you know what they all are, let me show you how should I explain this? Now, if we're going to make a reflection on a different axis, so if you're doing, let's see here, say 6, 5, negative 2, 3, and lastly, let's see here, sure, negative 8, 7. Let's go ahead and put these on our graph. So 6, 5. I made this a bit too large. It'll be fine. Negative 2, 3. And lastly, negative 8, 7. Should be right up here. Let's connect them. So this right now would be considered your pre-image. Starting image, nothing's changed yet. We haven't done anything. Now, we're going to do some reflection. And to this one, if it's crossing the y-axis, then you're going to make the x negative. So right now, you see here, it's crossing the y-axis. So, not here, here. Alright, now that we know it's crossing the y-axis, we have to make all the x's, well, negative. And if they're already negative, we make them positive since the two negatives cancel out. Now, our x's would be 6, -2, and 8. While our y's would be 5. Let me fix that. 5, 3, and 7. Now let's go ahead and make all of our x's negative. So instead of 6, 5, we have -6, 5. And that point's a bit too big. There we go. So -6, 5 now. Instead of -2, we now have +2. 2, 3. It's a bit bigger. And lastly, instead of having -8, 7, we have 8, 7. So it's 7. And this point, never go where you want them to go, would be our, because you say after image, but image. I'm going to remove the pre-image to make this a bit clearer on you. So this would be our new image. Now, let's say your line crosses the y-axis, or not the y-axis, sorry, x-axis. So let's say 1, -3, 4. Let's see here. Actually, -4, 5. And let's go with, sure, yeah, that was right, -3, 4. Now, this doesn't always have to be a triangle. It could be squares too, rhombus, rectangle, whatever. Now, so let's see here. 1, -3 would be right here. -4, 5. It's right here. And -3, 4 is right here. I'm going to actually change -4 and make it, actually, let's make it 3, 5. There we go. Just to make it a bit easier on the eyes. And this one right here would be crossing the y-axis, or x-axis, my bad. I'm all over today. And now, instead of making our x's negative, we now make our y's negative, remember. We are now on the x-axis, meaning y's become negative y's. Don't know why I used the equal sign, because they're not equal. Now, let's go ahead and make all our y's, which is going to be -3, 5, 5. Negative. Well, -3 cancels out with negative, so now it's +3. And both -5s become, well, both 5s become -5. Let's go right now and write down our new graph. So instead of our previous one, we now have 1, 3, 3, -5, and -4, 5. So again, they just flipped. So right here, this would be our new image. not our pre-image. The pre-image is always going to be the first one. This would be our image now. So now that we've gone over reflections, let's go over translations. Pretty much for translation is they'll give you your points right here. So A is -4, 4. And then they'll give you these numbers up here. What you're supposed to do is add these numbers to this number, or whatever numbers you have for your coordinates. And then pretty much same thing with reflection, you fill them out. So yeah, this would be -1, 7 after adding 3 to these. And these numbers aren't always the same. This could be 4, 5, this could be 7. I'm just using 3 as an example. There we go. So that's now -1, 7. Let's fill it in. Oh, yeah, that's what we're doing. There we go. It's my redo, but hey, it always messes up, you know? But anyways, I'm going to do this. Like I've been saying. I deleted it. Oh. It's going to be -1, 7 right here. And let's go ahead and do C, which is going to be 2, not 4. So let's see here, 2, 4. And then the thing is, you don't always have to do all 4. The only time you have to do all 4 is when the shape is different or doesn't have 4 spots that are all equal. So this is equal, this is equal, that is equal, that is equal. Or not really equal, but you can figure it out. So this, I can do this together. That would be D. And this would be B. You can also do it the reverse way, but I just do this way. It's a bit quicker. And also, remember that this doesn't change. The pre-image and the image doesn't change for translation. The only thing that changes is where the image is. Then after that, you have to figure out what it was that made it change. Not what it was, but what was added towards it to make it change. And once you have that, you would just add it onto there. Now, let's move on with rotation. Okay, now to our last and final one, rotation. So pretty much rotation is literally what's in its name. It rotates the figure. So I'm going to use a triangle. Let's say right here. And now let's fill out the triangle. So here are points A, B, C, whatever, right? And this is going to be -7, 8. B is going to be -7, 5. And lastly, C is going to be, almost sneezed, -4, 5. Now, in your word problem, it's going to tell you whether it wants you to rotate it 90 degrees, 180 degrees, or 270 degrees. And this is for counterclockwise, not clockwise. So instead of going this way and down, and then for here and then back up, you will be going down here, up there, and there, and then here back again. Simple, right? Now, for if you're just going to go 90 degrees rotation counterclockwise, what you're going to do is swap your x and y. So now it's for a. So being negative 7, 8, it's going to be 8, negative 7. And then what you're going to do is make your y negative. So this is why it's x still. I'm just saying we swapped the places, so now this is that and this is that. Or y is now 7, negative 7, and x is now negative 8, since we made 8 a negative. Sorry if this is getting confusing. Now, negative 8, negative 7. It's going to be right down here. Now let's go on to B, where it says negative 7, 5. Now it's going to be 5, negative 7. And now we add then we turn 5 into a negative, so now it's negative 5, negative 7. So negative 5, negative 7, right here. Lastly, we have negative 4 and 5 for C. So negative 4 and 5, which now becomes 5, negative 4. And negative 5, 4, negative 5, negative 4. Ugh, I'm starting to lose it with all these negatives. Negative 5, negative 4 is right here. Fill in the blanks and there's your triangle. Now, for our second one, this will be 180 rotation. So it's instead of swapping, why don't I erase? There we go. Now, instead of swapping x and y and turning them negative, it's now just making both negative x, or making them both negative. So again, with this negative 7, 8, instead of swapping it, it's going to be 7, negative 8, since we're turning them negative. This is for A. B is going to be 7, 5, or 7, negative 5. And lastly, C is going to be 4, 5. And let's just go ahead and put these down. So 7. So let's see, 7, negative 8. Right there. Then 7, negative 5. Right here. And then for C, it's just going to be 4, 5. Oh, wait, no, it won't. I meant that to be negative 5, sorry. For negative 5. There we go. That's, yeah. And connect them up. Theta to the square. And that's our second one. It's pretty much just all just moved right here. And lastly, 270 counterclockwise rotation. If you're really thinking about your 270 counterclockwise, just a 90-degree clockwise, but just think of it of same thing, 270 counterclockwise. Now, for this one, this time I'm just going to release numbers. This one, you're doing the same thing as a 90 degrees counterclockwise, but instead of making y the negative, you're now making x the negative. So, it's still going to be 8, 7 this time for A. B is going to be, not that, negative 5, or 5, 7. And C is going to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Sorry. Anyways, so a 7, 8, 7 is going to be right here. There we go. And 5, 7 is going to be right here. And then 5, 4, it's going to be right over here. And that's how you do problems with rotation. And that's it. That's all I have to teach you. This is goodbye.